afternoon, Internet for such it is, and welcome to a second look at the guitar styles of Neil Zaza, the man who can make a root note sound more satisfying than possibly any other guitar player on the planet. Some of you will have already seen part one of this expose, if you like, on Neil's techniques. This was linked to a blog post I did way back in 2021 and neglected to do a video. So go and check that one out first, because that's going to be a nice little precursor to what we're going to take a look at today. Obviously all tabs are available in the blog, so let's dive straight into the first lick. So this first one then, this is taken from I'm Alright, and basically this is the flash bit in it. This is the one bit where Neil really puts pedal to the metal, and what we've got here, I'll just take you through it. And essentially, yeah, this is Neil, pedal to the metal, kind of winging it, and he said himself in a few interviews that I've seen that this is one of those parts he will probably play slightly differently each night. But it's a nice bit to have a look at because it gives us a good insight into his style. So first off then, we are in the key of E, and we're beginning with at least a fairly familiar passage in E major pentatonic. And so I'm hammering from 9 to 11 on the D, and then hitting the root note E twice, 9th fret on the G, repeating, and again, and then before going into a sort of bluesy lick, 11th fret on the G, 9th fret B, we can think of that as pulling the spring back and creating the tension that we now release with this flurry of legato. So having done our big soaring bend here on the 12th fret E, we're now going to hit that E again, and then come back down the scale, pulling off D sharp to C sharp. And then we're going to layer those notes over each other. So that is D sharp, hammer to E, back to D sharp to C sharp. So like I said, it's layering the notes over, creating the illusion of possibly there being more notes than they actually are. And we've also now moved into E major territory as opposed to E major pentatonic, and Neil's thinking about this scale fingering. Or at least he appears to be. So I've done my... Then we go down onto the B string. And then the G. And then, yeah, so we're coming back onto the B. And then we've got a little rogue note here, a D. I suspect that one may have been accidental, but I think at the speed we go by, I think we can probably forgive him on this one. And then we go straight back to that D sharp, down to the B. And then we're back into melodic territory for the last three notes, playing the E to the F sharp to the G sharp, bent up a semitone, so that G sharp into A, third to fourth, and back again. Always a really, really useful interval to target the third. That's the heart and soul of the chord. That's where the passion lives. That's where the bit of it that makes it major or minor lives. And you'll have heard this before, because you've almost certainly heard the first solo to Comfortably Numb. and that's Dave Gilmour's trick in that. Hits the third, and that's the note that sends the shivers up your spine. So what we have here, I'm just going to play it through slowly. And now let's try that with a bit more speed, shall we? And one more just for the hand. Okay, so moving on to our next lick then. This is from Melodica. This is a live version, and this features Neil doing some pretty nifty sweep picking, it's got to be said. I'll play through the full lick and then we'll break it down. So, now I'm not even going to pretend I'm playing it quite up to speed. This is still very much a work in progress for me, but as I'm learning it, I figure I'll teach it to you guys as well. So we're going to work our way across first an E major arpeggio. Very simple. You'll have seen, obviously you're familiar with the E major shape. If not, you really shouldn't be on this video right now. Obviously we're not going to hold down the bar chord, we're just going to play the notes one at a time. If you're not familiar with sweep picking, essentially the technique is as you roll from one note to the next, you release the pressure on the previous note, and that helps keep things clean. So you don't just get... And you can see that I'm going down from the E as I roll on. So I pick the E, release the pressure as I move on to the A, release the pressure on the A string note as my pick moves down onto the D, the G, D, E. And then we're going to use a C-shaped B arpeggio, and then an E minor shaped C sharp minor arpeggio, and we've got a little bit of a E major scale going on. And then we're thinking about a C-shaped A major arpeggio, which we're going to play from the C sharp here, the third. So let's play that through slowly. And now let's see if we can get up a little bit of speed, shall we? Although it should be said, we never want to sacrifice clarity for speed. Right, as I say, that's not Neil speed, that's just as fast as I can play it without messing up completely. So moving on then to what is very much a Neil Zaza signature technique. This is the use of open voiced arpeggios. Now I talked about this a little in the last video, so I'm not going to regurgitate the content here. Go back and watch that. Like, share, subscribe as you're doing it. But we're using the same chord sequence, rather than outlining it using sweep pick arpeggios, we're outlining it using these open voice arpeggios. So we've got the E, and we're adding the sus4 in there on the last note there. That's the A note on the 10th fret of the B string, and then we've got an inverted B over D sharp, and then we've got a regular root position C sharp minor, root position B, back to root position E. And we're finishing on that B note there, which is a really strong leading tone. If you're not going to finish on the root, which sort of says that's it, we're done now, game over, happy ending, the fifth sort of leaves things hanging. Where are we going to go? How is the movie going to end? So let's play that through slowly. And now I'll give it a little bit more speed. Okay, moving on to then the fourth and final lick. This is taken from Crazy Love, and this is in the key of A. I'll play through it and then we'll break it down. So we are in the key of A. We're starting off on the E string at the 19th fret. That's a B note, that's the second. Going to bend that up a tone into the third. Come back to the root, and then do that again. And then we're going to move our way horizontally, so down one string, down the E string, down the A major scale. I'm just going to outline that scale first. A, G sharp, F sharp, E, G, C sharp, B, A. And we're using this little hammer-on pull-off slide maneuver. So you might try that kind of idea, and certainly people like Steve Vai do that regularly and to great effect. What Neil's playing here is so we're starting off on the G sharp, that's the seventh, hammering into the root, sliding down to the F sharp sixth with vibrato, and then E, F sharp, E, D, E, D, C, slide down, C sharp, D, C sharp. Let's put that all together. And then we make our way down a D-shaped A arpeggio for pulling off to the 7th fret on the G. That's the D note, that's your fourth. Back to the C sharp on the 6th fret, that's your third. And the fourth and back to the third. Down to the root and slide up to the second. So slowly. And now a little bit more up Neil speed. And there we go. So that's giving you a little bit of an insight into the incredibly melodic style of Mr. Zaza. If you haven't gone and checked him out before and you're wondering just who he is and what all the fuss is about, go and find him. You will not regret it. He seems to be the internet's best kept guitar secret. But for my money, he's absolutely on a level with the Vais, the Satrianis, the Johnsons, all of the biggest of the big, for want of a better phrase. So I hope you enjoyed this, and yeah, do please go find him. Check out his music. It is incredibly accessible, even if you're not really an instrumental guitar fan. I can pretty much guarantee you this guy's going to convert you. And we will be back next month for something a little bit more rootsy. We're going to be looking at Chuck Berry. So I'll see you then. All the best.